Hey everybody, welcome to Faron's commentaries of Resident Evil Chris Rebirth, episode... What the... Oh, shit. This doesn't bode well. Hey, I don't remember the shed looking like that. Oh, arm! He can open doors! Creepy hand! It would appear we have an unwelcome visitor. Let's welcome him with a shotgun blast. That didn't quite do it. Another one! And boom goes the dynamite. For the uninitiated, that was a hunter. An enemy that, for many of us who encountered them in our first playthroughs, probably scared the living hell out of us. Because they were not only just, scary, and quite daunting when you could hear their footsteps before you ever saw them, they were actually quite challenging. And much more agile than the average zombie. Speaking of zombies, they actually replace every single zombie that we've encountered in the mansion, so we're going to be seeing quite a few more of these guys as we go along. Oh well. What's this? I'll put some bullets in the back room, use them in case of trouble. Wesker. Well, that's convenient. Nice. Not quite as nice as what Jill gets, but hey, we get some shotgun shells, that's more than we could ask for. Unfortunately, I did a bit of self-imposed backtracking, so I have to go back to that room to get the MO disc. It's not entirely necessary to beat the game, but I'm pretty sure most of you know why we need the MO disc. I mean, come on, it's Resident Evil 1. I'm pretty sure like 99% of the population has seen someone play this game or they've played it themselves. Good, right, I do admit that it is kind of annoying when you have to backtrack. Especially if it's unnecessary. Right, so let's go ahead and put this thing in the box and move along. You know, one thing I wanted to note, and I'm pretty sure most of you have noticed as well if you've ever played the original Resident Evil, is that although the DS is a very fun port, it's lacking in one area, and that's the music. Although they brought back the original soundtrack, they took out some of the tracks, particularly some of the more important tracks. Like, for instance, when you return to the mansion and you encounter the hunters for the first time, they took out the new tracks, the music that is much more daunting. They actually were more of like remixes of the original tracks. They had a twist to them that fit perfectly with this new enemy that you encountered because it was much more threatening, much more daunting and hopeless. And taking that away, I feel, hurts the atmosphere of the game. It really is interesting how music makes such a huge difference in a game. Like, you can hate a game's gameplay, but if you listen to some good music, sometimes it just makes it bearable. When you put bad music in there, it just really grinds you. Alright, getting back to what's going on here. A new puzzle! This one I found to be extremely annoying because I had to use the mouse. And you have to spin this thing very peculiarly at a certain speed. And if you fuck up, you gotta start all over. Yeah.
Damn.
So let's speed this up, to spare you all. You might as well go get a refill on your drinks, or get some popcorn, or whatever, because this is gonna take a while. And for what's coming up, which I promise you is gonna be much more exciting.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank God that's over. Unfortunately, my many screw-ups have summoned this giant snake yawn to silence me. Not if I can help it. I would say this battle is much easier than the first, whether or not you actually decide to battle them at all in the first encounter. Because you don't have to worry about poison status. Just make sure you keep a good eye on your health. But this is going to end very quickly, before it even begins. And there we go. See what I mean? Wasn't hard at all. And people say this game is difficult. Yeah, right. And here comes another touchscreen puzzle. Gotta love those gimmicky DS controls. Touch the grave, take up the sword, and be brave. Touch the gravestone. Yeah, if you have an unsynchronized DS screen, you're going to have hell with this puzzle. Of course, it was easy for me because I had slow motion and I was using a mouse. Yes, it was cheating, but whatever. Saves you time, so get over it. Down we go. And here's a new addition in the Rebirth mode, and that we get a flamethrower early on. That's exciting. A shame, though, that you can only use it in the basement. I could think of a few nice candidates for it. Any game that has a flamethrower in it suddenly gets 2 stars added to the rating, no matter what it is. Even the worst game in the world gets 2 stars added to their rating if they have a flamethrower in there. Because flamethrowers are just sweet, even though they're impractical and completely dangerous. And more of a threat to you than anything else, really. Kinda holds the same niche as a jetpack, really. Maybe in Resident Evil 6 they'll have jetpacks. Who knows? So while we have a little bit of time to kill before document time, I'm going to ask you guys the big question. What do you think of Resident Evil Director's Cut? The reason I asked this is because I was talking about music earlier, and for those of you who are familiar with the American release of Resident Evil Director's Cut, it had a completely different soundtrack along with the other changes in that version of the game. And to be honest, I don't really mind it. It's kind of like the Parasite Eve 1 versus Parasite Eve 2 argument. Both games have, both games in this topic being the original Resident Evil and Director's Cut. The original had a louder soundtrack in general. It was scary, but it was more out there, whereas Director's Cut was much quieter and much more ambient. They use less sounds. They try to create a more general feeling, where if you take it out of context, it may not be as scary, but within the game world, it's perfect. Whereas with the original, you could listen to it like the songs of your favorite rock band. I guess what I'm trying to get at is that whether or not you actually like Director's Cut's soundtrack. I liked it. It was the one I was first familiar with because I never got to play the original when it came out. And although I definitely prefer the original more, I cannot deny that the Director's Cut soundtrack definitely succeeded in what it set out to do. Well, mostly. I mean, there are some songs that kind of fall flat for me, particularly the basement theme for the mansion. The original was actually quite terrifying, but in the Director's Cut, it sounds like someone farting, and that's more hilarious than anything, really. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think and which one you prefer. And try to make it detailed, because I am always interested to hear great input from you guys. Makes my days more interesting to know there are other smart thinkers out there. But right, another touchscreen puzzle. This one quite arbitrary, really, because you have to pull a sword out of a door by wiggling your stick on the DS screen. I guess it's oddly therapeutic if you really want to do that. But yes, your reward for doing that is you manage to get to this room. And a zombie falls on the ground. Yep, not very exciting. Oh well, let's go take a look out the window. Oh god! Alright, document time. Yippee! Scrapbook. Raccoon Times, May 27th, 1998. Animal attack, woman mutilated. May 20th, around 10 p.m., a 20-year-old young woman's body was found by a passerby on the left bank of Marble River in the Cider District of Raccoon City. A 20-year-old young woman's body. That's just worded very weirdly. Try saying that yourself. I bet you're gonna screw it up. Raccoon police assume it to be a grizzly or other animal's doing due to teeth marks along the woman's arms and a severed left foot, which suggests considerable power. Ugh. That's pretty creepy. Police speculate that the woman was hiking in the Arklay Mountains when the attack occurred. Police have no leads on the identity of the woman at this time. Raccoon Weekly, June 16th, 1998. Monsters in the Arklay Mountains. Some people claim they've seen monsters in the Arklay Mountains. You don't say. These monsters are allegedly about the same size as large dogs and usually run in packs as wolves do. It may sound like a group of wild dogs, but these monsters are supposedly very fierce and very resistant to attacks. Interesting. It is said that they won't bother people unless they are provoked, so it may be advisable to remain out of the Arklay Mountains for the time being until this issue has been cleared up. Obviously, I mean, they just found a dead woman's body, you think it would be advisable. But for all you thrill-seekers out there, this may be your chance for some adventure. Raccoon Times, July 9th, 1988. Mystery in the Arklay Mountains. Mountain road blocked. Due to successive disasters in the Arklay Mountains, the city has filed a bankruptcy. City authorities have decided to block the road leading to the foothills. At the same time, Raccoon Police intend to begin the search for lost people with the help of STARS team members. They expect great difficulty because of the vast size of the Arklay Mountains and the primeval forest that covers most of the area. Also, people are still reporting sightings of grotesque monsters in the mountains. Ooh. Scrapbook has been filed. No, I like that document quite a bit. It sets a really good mood. I mean, wouldn't you be... What's this? Wouldn't you be terrified if you read something like that? I would. Let's mess with this guy a little bit. That's always that's slightly I don't know. That's just really amusing for me. Oh, there he goes. So yes, another pushing puzzle. My lord. So many pushing puzzles in this game. But right, all you gotta do is push this statue in the corner right here. Don't even need the light. Huh. Something is different. Let's check it out. Eric's letter. David, I have a favor to ask. Can you look for a book I misplaced? Actually, it appears I lost it somewhere around the women's restroom. Guardhouse quarters when I had a little too much to drink. It's very important to me. Please find it. Thank you, Eric. You lazy ass, can't you find it yourself? Oh well, let's go. Oh my god! Here's your reward, motherfucker. Yep, you encounter these buggers early in the game. Not that I mind. They are quite challenging, and you do need some challenge at this point. But you already got the hunters to deal with, now you gotta deal with these bastards. Oh, forget it. Let's just leave. We're not coming back to this room anyway. So, judging from the note we just picked up, I guess we're going to be going back to the guardhouse for a second time. Something that might appear to be very odd for most of you who have played the original Resident Evil, considering you never did have to go back. You normally found an MO disc there. Oh well, I don't mind. Snap, a zombie can open doors. Let's reward him for his newfound talent with the shotgun to the face. Oh, come on, really? How did he survive that? I shot him in the face. Well, indeed, it seems that zombie is much more potent because he can open doors. How does that work? I don't know what to tell you. It's just magic. Oh boy. Hunters. Fancy that. That jumping attack always gets me. It's always that jump. Because if you don't judge it properly, you'll miss your shot, they'll hit you, and then they'll hit you again just for giggles. And that's part of what makes the hunter so much of a joy to be around. It's even worse if there's more than one of them attacking you at once. That's why it's preferable to take them on one at a time. Because if you get caught in a clusterfuck, well, say goodbye to your cranium. Exactly. I think it's time we go have a little break in the save room. And my little honey buddy will just chill under the staircase there. Alright, so we got the battery, but we're not quite done with business here in the mansion just yet. We're gonna get one more prize. A very sweet prize that is worth all the effort. But we're saving that for next episode, I'm afraid. I'm glad you guys watched this episode. I'll be seeing you next time in episode 8 of Ron's Commentaries of Resident Evil Chris Rebirth. See you then.